Woohoo!
Thank you guys so much for coming on our Director Bound call tonight. It is Tuesday night, May 3rd at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Being all professional. Okay, so today we're going to cover how to do a simple interview. So chances are, if you've ever held any kind of job before, ignore the noise. It's my 11-year-old who's going to get strangled. That's right. So if you've had any kind of job in the past, chances are you have been interviewed. So what we're talking about here, and I was just seeing if I had headphones to drown out my children, but they're in the car. But what basically happens is we want to teach you guys how to do an interview, how to do an interview for a new team member. Because when you're wanting to add people to your team, you're wanting them to consider Pampered Chef a job. You know, because that's who you're looking to add. People who are going to take this business seriously, who are going to be looking for some extra money, who are going to work for it, you know, all of those things. If you present it when you're talking to someone about Pampered Chef, like, oh my gosh, you can get this amazing kit, it's a really great deal, guess what they're going to get? The kit, and they're not going to do anything. So it's kind of one of those things where when you set the expectation for them, it's going to help them to see what they can actually get from this company. Hey, Kathy. So what's going to end up happening is, you know, the more that you're doing this simple interview and it helps to call a buddy or pair up with someone else on Director Bound and practice these call scripts, because they can be your best friend. Calling, you know, that you can call and say, hey, I'm practicing this new thing for this leadership program I'm a part of, and I would like to get your feedback. Can you answer all my questions with a hard no? And then the next time say, okay, can you answer my questions with a maybe I'm thinking about it, and then answer me with yeses? Because you need to kind of know how to respond to each of those results so that way you can practice. I've recruited some of my closest friends using this, because when they're actually doing it, they're like, oh, that really does sound cool. And I'm like, well, great. And I'm doing my script, and then I'm like, wait, are you serious? So try it on someone, because chances are they'll start going, oh, I didn't realize you could do all of that. But when you're talking to someone, you want to set them up with the expectation of what Pampered Chef can do. And that's where the simple interview comes from. And it's really a key in how you do your word choices. So instead of saying something like, well, you know, you can purchase the new consultant kit. It's like the best bang for your buck. And then if you decide you don't want to do this anymore, that's okay. Right? That's typically how most people, because they don't want to be as threatening, to say, you can try it, but you don't have to stay. You know, so you're immediately telling them they can quit. So some word choices that you can use in place of that were, you know, for my new consultants that only do one show a week, they make about $400 to $500 a month. Is that some extra kind of money you could look for? So when you're doing it that way, you're letting them know if they only did one show a week, and people are thinking, oh, I can do that. It's all in how you say it and how the mindset is. So since I've got a few more people on, I do want to show you guys this real quick video. I'm sharing my desktop with you. So there we go. Okay, ignore my Facebook that's in the background here, because I don't know how to get to the page I was just on. Okay, so on here there is, and you can go back and look at this. Technically, this is part of your homework, but I wanted to show it to you live because it's only 5 minutes, and I really want you guys to see the recruit interview, because if I assign this, chances are life's going to get in the way and you're going to forget to watch it, and you're going to go, oh, I was supposed to do that. So we're going to take the 5 minutes, we're going to watch it together, and let me know, give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear it. Okay, can you hear it? No.
Turn it up.
I have it. It's off all the way. You can't hear that?
Hold on.
No. Boo. Okay, hold on.
Stop, Maggie.
Anything now? No. Boo. Okay, I could. Well, that's not going to work. Basically, what they're doing is they're doing a live interview card stage demo. So the interview cards, I know I've pointed them out to you guys before. So I'm going to show you where to find them and where to find this information. So when you are on Consultants Corner and you go under news and events, and then from there you go into training events, this is where you're finding all of your homework for our Director Bound program. When you're over here on the left-hand side where it's got your home office training, that's where the screen comes up. And we are under the Director Bound program. So today is our call number 5. So when you're looking at this and you click the little button for your, oh, I'm touch screen, sorry if I'm touching you there. So when you click on the Director Bound program, it's going to drop down everything that we're doing. So it's going to have those interview cards here for you that I know we've talked about in the past. It's going to have instructions for how to actually do those interview cards. And it's going to have that little video clip when you're looking right here where you can go and watch that 5-minute video. So I would encourage you when we get off the call today, go ahead and watch it tonight so you don't forget. If I assign it and you have 2 weeks to do it, you're going to forget. So take the 5 minutes before you're ready to shut the brain down and go, okay, I'm going to watch it. But on the interview cards, it is super, super amazing. If you don't want to spend the $2 to have them sent from Pampered Chef to you, you can print them off. It's 4 pages. And I can't remember how it prints. I think it's just supposed to be front to back. But it'll basically have on one side of your screen, of your card where it's got that it's fun, why Pampered Chef, money, join us. And on the back side, it's going to give you some questions to ask. So when you're sitting there in front of your new team member, and you really do want to do this interview as much as you can in person, because you can kind of gauge them a little bit more, just like when you go to do a job interview, they're going to interview you in person. Because you want to be able to hear what they're saying, you want to be able to see their facial expressions, you want to be able to help, answer any of their hesitations. So what these cards allow you to do is lay everything out in front of them and say, these are typically some of the reasons why people do Pampered Chef. Which one of these reasons appeals to you most? And then from there, if they say, well, I'm looking for something easy, then you can go to the answer for that on the back where it says, what sounds easiest to you about getting started? Starting with the grand opening party, those great host rewards, what sounds easiest to you? And you want to give them things that they can go through with you. So this is something that if you have free Pampered Chef dollars, use them, because theirs are like a really, really nice, you can spill food on them and they will wipe clean. So if you're meeting them for lunch and you pull them out of your purse and a tea spills, which has happened to me, you wipe them clean. They dry off, you're good to go. So basically this is there is this whole, it's a 2-page document where it's going to give you these instructions and it's going to walk you through how to do that simple interview. So it's going to first thank them for meeting with you today. So if Kathy and I were sitting down, I would say, Kathy, thank you so much for meeting me today. I know we had so much fun last night over at Tiffany's party. What did you like most about that show?
The food. It was so good.
Isn't the food amazing? Didn't you love that Asian crunch salad?
And it was so easy to make, too. I can't believe it.
That is what I love about it, because you know what? People are in a hurry these days. How many of us could actually use something healthy and quick in the kitchen? Definitely. So I just had so much fun. Well, I'm so excited that you decided to talk with me today. So let me ask you, what was the reason why you wanted to hear more about Pampered Chef?
Well, I need a little bit of extra money. And I hear y'all's conference party in July is such a blast.
It is. We're going to party 80s style. For those of you who do not know, Bobby Lynn and I had our team training last night, and we decked out 80s style for getting everyone excited about that. Directors only, because we are doing this program to help get you guys to director. That is why it's called Director Bound, so that way we can get you there. So when you promote on or before July 1st, you'll be able to participate with us in an 80s style big after party after the Thursday night general session, which is going to be directors and above only. And so last night, Bobby Lynn and I 80s it up for training. So that was fun. But yes, we do have a lot of fun. But what you're doing here is you're wanting to build rapport. So what I would have done in this situation is I would say, well, Kathy, what else did you like about the party last night?
Meeting new people that I didn't know before and trying to make friends.
Definitely. Friends is always a great way to meet some new people and to have a good time together. What else?
The cool products that you introduced me to.
Yeah. So the products are always a great way to get everyone together because chances are not everyone has seen everything in the catalog. So it's kind of nice to be there and be able to get hands-on. Was there anything else you liked?
Just your happy, cheerful self.
Thank you. At my shows, for real, they do say that I'm the best part of the party. And I always say, oh, thanks. No, really, what was it, the food? Because the food's always good. But when you're doing that what else, what else, what else, they are going to keep talking about everything they loved about the Pampered Chef and about the show. And it's going to make your job so much easier to sell them on Pampered Chef because they're already selling themselves on the Pampered Chef. They've already said, oh my gosh, I had so much fun. We used some really great tools. We ate some delicious food. I met new friends. Like, they're listing all the reasons why they love Pampered Chef and why it would be a great fit for them. So then I would say, well, tell me a little bit about you, Kathy. What kind of stuff do you have going on in your world these days?
Oh, working too much and taking care of grandkids and dogs and just busy, busy, busy girl.
Okay. Did you know that the busiest people make the best consultants?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because when you think about it, you see a lot of people. You know, I know you work in a big hospital, so there's a ton of people that you get to see on a daily basis, not only your coworkers, but also people as they come into the hospital. Or you might have some frequent flyers that you see often when you're doing their lab work. So it gives you an opportunity to be able to talk to people when you're at work about what you do on the side. So, and then I know you take your gorgeous dog to the dog park all the time. So it's a great time to be able to talk to people there about what you do. So that is true though. The busiest people make the best consultants because you're in front of a lot of people. So I just let them know that right away that, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm so busy but that's why this business works for me. My kids are involved in sports. They play music. I'm very involved with their school. I'm involved with, because I am busy, but it works. So if you want to find out about them, if they have kids, like for Kathy, I know she doesn't have kids at home. She's got a dog there. She works, she has a renter. So these are things I know about her. So if I already knew her, I would kind of bring up, so are you involved in any other clubs or organizations? Because I want to give her a way where she can see she has people. I already touched on her outside interest because she takes her dog to the dog park like religiously. A couple times a week. So like when you know what they do, you can touch on how they can reach people at each of those different areas. So then you want to then you're kind of taking a few minutes to learn about them. And the whole point of the interview is to let your person do 80% of the talking. What else? What else? Oh, that's so much fun. What else? Let them keep talking because they love to talk about themselves, number one, and then they're going to leave that interview going, oh my gosh, Christina is the nicest person, because I haven't hardly said anything about me. I've asked about them. I've asked about their kids. I've asked about their dog. I've asked about their job. I've asked about what they love. I mean, it is all about your new team member. So then you're going to talk to them about, lay down the benefit cards. And the benefit cards are the easy, freedom and flexibility, support, money, fun. We're different. And then you're going to say something along the lines of this little script. These are some of the main reasons why people decide to start a Pampered Chef business. So which one of these looks most important to you? Most people start with money. Money's pretty important. So if Tiffany, who's playing with the baby, if Tiffany said, oh, money's a good one, then I would say, and you can unmute so we can role play. I'll give Kathy a break.
Good.
And I don't actually know your first name, Mund, so you have to tell me.
Oh, Sarah.
Sarah? Okay, good. I'll pick on you next. Okay, so Tiffany, can you unmute, or is the baby nursing? Okay, you can talk. Okay, so if Tiffany had said money was the reason why she started Pampered Chef, then I would say, okay, so Tiffany, what kind of money are you wanting to earn? Like how much? Put a dollar value on it for a month. What would you like to earn?
I'd like to earn about $1,000 a month.
Okay, $1,000 a month is a pretty good goal. You probably won't start right away there, but it's definitely something we can work towards. Okay, so what would you do with that $1,000?
Put it towards bills.
Put it towards bills? Okay, is there a specific bill you're wanting to pay down, or are you just putting it towards overall family contribution?
Rent specifically.
Okay, so you'd be using it for rent. Would you use it for anything else?
Use it to put some stuff away so we can travel and do stuff with the family.
Okay, traveling is always a great way to go. Anything else you'd put that money towards?
Maybe more clothes for the baby.
More clothes for the baby.
She's growing
Typically,
out of it.
she is growing out of things. Babies grow. Like, who gives them permission? I don't know.
Crazy.
They do. But you want to do the what else, and without saying what else, but in a different way. Because typically the third or fourth thing they say is really the reason why they're doing something. Now, in Tiffany's case, she's probably not actually doing this to buy baby clothes. Probably the next reason would have been the real heartstring reason for why she's doing this. Maybe it's to save money so she can get her own place. Maybe it's to to be able to pay off credit card debt. But typically, the first reason they're going to give you is it's total BS. That's not the actual reason that they want this. That second reason might be getting a little closer, but that third or fourth reason is the real reason why they're wanting to do this. And you want to remember that, because later on, when they decide, okay, I'm going to do this Pampered Chef thing, and in 3 months they haven't done hardly anything, you want to go back to that and say, well, Tiffany, I know when we talked, you were wanting to make $1,000 a month. And with that, you were hoping to be able to save some money so that you and your husband could have your own new place with the baby. How is that coming along? Bring them back to their why. That's why they started. So now if money was, so then I would say something like this. So aside from the money, and I would kind of break this down. So, as a leader in the company, you can definitely make $1,000 a month, getting to that leadership or management level with our company. As a brand new consultant, my consultants who do about 2 shows a week typically make about $1,000 a month. So when you're thinking in terms of how often do you have to work, you can make that money, but you're going to be working a little bit harder, and that's completely fine. We can work on that. And then you want to answer their question in like less than a minute. Again, why? Keep them talking. You give them the other thing. So then you would say, okay, so was there anything else on here that interests you? And if they went on to, let me get my interview cards back up. Now I have more Googles. Ignore all this. I'm working on my virtual parties. I save everything to my desktop. Okay, so then if they said that they loved the, why are you not touch screening? Okay, so if they said that they wanted fun, okay, then you could say, like this one here is our fun one. What would you enjoy most about setting your own hours? Like what would be fun to you? Would it be being your own boss, having the flexibility? So Sarah, if I would say, so what sounds fun to you about doing Pampered Chef? What would you respond with?
I would say the flexibility.
Flexibility, okay. Why is flexibility important to you?
Because currently I cannot get a job anywhere else because I can really only work between the hours of like maybe 11 and 2.
11 p.m. and 2 a.m.?
No, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
You have kids?
Yes.
Okay.
My son, I take an hour. He doesn't have to be to school till 9:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And so it's an hour there. It's an hour there and back in the morning, and then an hour there and back in the afternoon.
Okay.
2 hours out of my day right off, and
Right.
I cannot do anything. And school doesn't start very early in the morning, so
it does
late in the day.
So being able to do something like Pampered Chef and make it a full-time job would really help your family because you can still be able to be home.
Right. Plus,
Okay.
I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Oh wow! So how old are all? So you have 3?
Yeah, 12, 5, and 2.
Okay.
We
Wow. So you
absolutely
see
no daycare at all, ever.
No,
So.
you're good, because you know what? There's a lot of people out there who are like, nope, sorry, we'll struggle, but that's fine because my kid is not going to.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. My middle child is like already crazy. I don't need her picking up any extra stuff from daycare.
Mm-hmm. But when you're doing it like that and you say, I need to work this business around my kids, and this job gives me that flexibility. Do you do any online parties? Virtual?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
probably do a couple of months.
do what?
I only do about a couple of months now, but that's how I started.
Oh, okay. I love cooking shows. I'm just now starting the virtual party thing because I like to eat and I like to cook. So, and I typically find that when I'm in front of people, because I'm just so amazing, not really, but because I do have this bubbly personality that I tend to sell more, book more parties. I have repeat customers, repeat hosts, and because they love the atmosphere that I bring to their show. And you don't get that until you do shows, and you have to do shows to get into your groove, to figure out what's going to work for you, because then people will be coming to you and going, oh my gosh, I have so much fun, I need to do this job, because you're having fun, they're having fun. The good thing with you is that you're home during the day, so you're able to relate to other stay-at-home moms. That's something that someone who works full-time would never be able to understand. You're going to be able to relate to those college kids who are working in between a busy school schedule that could use some extra money, and being able to teach them how to handle working from home. So that is definitely amazing to have the flexibility. And Pampered Chef.
I was working 60 to 80 hours a week before that.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it was crazy. Before I met my husband, I was working crazy hours.
That's
oh,
crazy.
yeah.
So your hubby's doing bulk of the work, and you're doing everything with the kids, right?
Yes.
Okay. So with your cooking shows, if you're wanting to do cooking shows, do you have 1 or 2 nights a week that you think you would be able to set aside to do a show?
I primarily end up doing mine on the weekends. Occasionally, I'm lucky enough to get like 1 or 2 during the week.
Okay.
Most of mine are on Saturdays or Sundays. So my weekends are generally pretty booked pretty quickly between shows and vendor events.
This is my calendar. I'm a nerd. Everything's color coded. But
I started doing that too.
but I let everyone know, listen, my Friday and Saturdays are the first thing to go. And I've changed my schedule, because I used to give, and this is something I'm going a little bit off topic outside of the actual interview. We'll get back to that. But I will typically schedule all my family stuff first, and then I will go through and I'll look at the fact my husband works out of town Monday through Friday, so I don't want to give every single weekend away. I want to be home with my husband when he's home. So I will primarily try to do my shows Monday through Friday and have my weekends off. There is 1 weekend a month that I go crazy, where I have, that would be this weekend here. So it is Thursday, Friday, Saturday lunch, Saturday dinner, Sunday afternoon. Because there's 1 weekend I will book solid every single month, because I know people want weekends. I don't want to give every weekend, but I will give 1 weekend once a month, and I will give it everything. I will be burnt out, but I'll survive. And when it's a $3,000 weekend, I'm like, okay, that was a great show. That was a great weekend. So that's kind of what you need to work on. But when you're talking to a potential team member who is looking for flexibility, I would generally say, okay, so tell me a little bit about your day-to-day. And for you, you said you have young kids at home. They're not in daycare. You have a child you take to school that's an hour away. So your time is limited. And the time that you have, you not only need to focus on your kids, but you need to try to focus on a business. So in that sense, I would say, well, there's a lot of our consultants that just do online virtual parties. So that might be something you want to consider right now, until you have a night that you could open up to do some cooking shows. Cooking shows to me are a ton more fun. I love them. They are my bread, they're my meat and potatoes, and my online shows are the icing on the cake. So I kind of throw out something like that. But as you're working through these interview cards, you're going to find out, and typically once you ask them, you anything else, and they might say, oh, well, maybe that's support. And then you just flip over the card, you go through what it says on the back, and then you go again, okay, anything else? And typically after like 3 or 4 of those, they'll say, no, I'm good. Now here's where I change it up a little bit different. So at this point, they've either decided they're going to do it, or they're going to decide, no, I'm not doing this. So then I ask this question on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 meaning you never want to hear from me today, and 10 being that you're ready to sign up. Where are you at? Because I want to know, after we've had like 20, 30 minutes of talking together, if I'm wasting my time and their time, if I keep going and if I keep asking them, or if they're kind of like, if they are higher than a 6, if they're 6, 7, 8, 9, I'll say, that's awesome. what would I need to do to get you to a 10? Because then they're saying, well, right now, I really just don't have the money to get started. Okay, so if you have the money to get started, is there anything else stopping you from joining our team today? Well, no, I think that would be it. Okay, then you need to find a way to answer that need so you can move on to something else. The best advice I ever got, and this was from a national executive director. She said these exact words, and I wrote them down at conference 3 years ago, and I use them every single time. If someone tells me, and I go through this whole interview process, and I say, Sarah, based on what we've talked about today, I think you would make an amazing fit for the Pampered Chef. Is there anything holding you back from saying yes today? And if you told me, you know what, I think I would be good at this, but I really don't have the money to get started, my answer to you would be, do you have anyone in your life who would be willing to invest in you to help you get started, where you could turn around and do a cooking show for them and give them all those host rewards? And someone to invest in you, meaning a sister, a mother, an aunt, someone who would be willing to pay for your kit cost to get you started today. And then you can turn around and have them be one of your very first parties to get free stuff so that you can practice, because they're going to get their money back. They're just going to have it back in free products instead of you paying them cash back. And with that, knowing that the average host earns $90 in free products from the company, if they bought the $99 mini kit for you, they're making that money back when you do that first show. So I will say those words, because money is typically the number one issue people have on getting started, is they just don't have the money to get started. And I say, is there anyone in your life who would be willing to invest in you to get you started? And just think about it, ask them. We can always touch back in a couple of days and kind of see if you're able to talk to mom, sister, aunt, cousin, whoever, your best friend, someone who would be willing to invest in you. And it's like, oh, you know what? My mom might do that. I could see my sister would do that for me. And so those are some things that you can, and then they go in here, if the answer is I need to think about it, ask them, what's keeping you from saying yes today? You'll meet some women who say, you know what? I really just want to check with my husband and make sure he's good with it. So I always ask the question, what question do you think your husband would have about you starting Pampered Chef? And typically they don't have a question that their husband's going to ask. They just want to run it by him and make sure that he's not going to be mad that she's starting without him. So she would probably say, well, you know what? He probably would have no problem with this. I just want to make sure he's okay with it. And I said, okay, well then that's perfect. Why don't you talk to him about it? And I will always have those join us brochures, or whatever they're called now. These Taste the Good Life. I'm very one. So I'll send her home with one of these, and I would have marked it up. So I have all this stuff marked up. I'll have her making a list of friends that she's going to talk to about hosting parties. I go through this whole thing. Like if she's busy, okay, let's write down where you're busy, because she's going to go home with this whole thing, and she'll think about it the next day when she's in the shower washing her hair. She'll go, oh, you know what? I'm ready to do this because I've already talked to 4 of these friends and they're ready to host a party for me when I start. So when you have them put pen to paper and use a permanent marker on these, because an actual ink pen will smear all over your hands and you'll look beautiful for 3 days until it cleans off. Permanent marker works great. It doesn't smear, it sticks on. But I'll send them home with this, and they've already written all their stuff on it. It has all my information on it. Typically this one is not stamped yet. And then I'll say, well, take this home, go over it with your husband. It's got my website on here that takes you directly to that page about Pampered Chef as a business. Why don't you and your husband look at it together, and then just give me a call and let me know what he thinks. And then if I don't hear from them in 3 days, I'm calling them back. Hey, I hadn't heard from you. I know you probably had a crazy busy weekend. So what did hubby think? Are you ready? Fully expecting them to say yes. So anyways, because most of the times they're ready. All right, so it talks about how to talk to your host about joining Pampered Chef before, and we touched on this a little bit last night at training, so I know Kathy got to hear some of that. I'm not sure if Tiffany joined us live or not through Facebook, but it does talk about how you want to interview your host before their show, because they can turn that show into their show. Yes, you want sales, but in the long run, if you have team members that are selling, you're still making money. And you want to be working on your own sales, but also building your team. So it talks about giving your host the opportunity. And we talked last night about offering it to them at every single host coaching call. If you are not coaching your host to have a good party, you are not doing your job. My motto is, host coaching is where you make your paycheck, you go to the party to pick it up. So that is like my motto. I live by. It's penned somewhere in my office because host coaching is the key. When you have your host excited, when they're working on their wish list, when they know what they want and what they want to get out of this party, they're going to already know, okay, I've already done all this work. I've invited like 58 people to this party. I should be making this money. But you want to give them the opportunity to say yes to joining your team. So doing the interview cards is key. Super, super easy. There's the script. Again, it is all on Consultants Corner underneath that director bound section. You can print it off, take it with you. You can read off of this entire thing when you go to your interview. And then they're going to go, oh my gosh, you're reading a script. I could totally do this. It really does make your job look duplicatable. So, so your homework, your call to action for between now and the next one, which is our new Consultant Strong Start call that Bobby Lynn will be leading, is to set a goal to call your hosts within 24 hours of booking their show. Because once you book their show, call them within 24 hours to tell them you're excited, you can't wait to party with them, and do that initial, have you ever thought about doing something like this? You would be great. Practice using those simple interview cards. If you do not have them off of Consultants Corner on the supply as a little supply pack, print them off front to back, and then use them at your, use them to practice. Practice on your mom, practice on your sister, practice on the dog. Maggie can't answer, but you know, that was all for Kathy. Practice on your neighbor, whoever. Call me up and practice on me. That's fine too. And then I want you to actually interview 3 people. You've got 2 weeks. That gives you a few days to freak out in between each one. But it doesn't have to necessarily be people that you think would sign up with Pampered Chef. I want you to interview people you're comfortable with. So call your mom, call your best friend, call your sister, call your neighbor and say, hey, I want to practice this thing that I'm learning, because the great thing about direct sales is any skill can be learned. You don't have to be a strong seller, but you can learn how to be a strong seller. You don't have to be a strong recruiter, but you can learn how to be a strong recruiter. So definitely do the interview with at least 3 people. And then I want you to watch the online video that would not play the audio for us. It is 5 minutes and 28 seconds. When we hang up this call, go immediately on there. Someone tag me that you watched it, because then I want you to definitely see how easy it is. And it kind of works, and it's a little canned because it's Julie, but she's great. But it kind of gives you an idea of different words that you can say, and continue making your 15 contacts a week outside of your shows. That's your 3 contacts a day for 5 days. So if you went Monday through Friday, picking up a phone, sending a text message, meeting someone in the grocery store. If you need something, if you need logo wear, find someone who will print for you, who will screen print, or who will embroider if you can't afford Merrill's prices. It is kind of expensive. Get a pen. If you need a pen that says, I love what I do, let one of us directors know. We will send you one. Because when you're wearing something that's got logo on it, people tend to approach you. And that usually will make you not feel as, oh my gosh, I have to talk to 15 people. They're gonna talk to you. You take your catalog tote, take one of these purses with the catalog in the front. People are gonna go, oh my God, I love Pampered Chef. And you're gonna go, me too. And then you strike up a conversation. So, so making that commitment to doing at least 15 contacts a week. So, so for you, Sarah, when you're home, that means consciously leaving your house between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. with the children, to take them to the library, to take them to the grocery store, to take them to the bank, so that way you can meet people while you're out and about, and showing your kids that mom's talking to strangers is totally okay. Just kidding.
I probably would duct tape them to the wall first.
Yeah. Don't. This is not going anywhere else recording. She's kidding. If anyone's watching. No, but my kids know. I have them trained where if I'm like, oh my gosh, I know this lady and I cannot remember where from, they'll say, you probably met my mom at a Pampered Chef show. You hear them laughing. Because I put them on the spot. I'm like, Nathan, I need you to tell this person. I don't remember where I met them at. So they're great for that. But anyway, so practice the interview, and then really just take the time to read over this script. I mean, you can literally make it your own, do your own thing with it, print off those interview cards if you don't already have them. If you have free Pampered Chef dollars and you already know you're going to be picking up the new summer handouts or catalogs or something, it's like $2 for the interview cards, and then they're already like laminated all nice for you, and you can take them in your purse, and they really are almost indestructible. So you can take them and then you have them all the time, and they're not just on cardstock where it gets ruined and you print them again. So do you guys have any questions? We have like 2 minutes left. I know I did most of the talking. That's not what you're going to do when you interview. You want to let them do all the talking. Do you have any questions? You guys good?
I think I'm okay.
Cool. That was my 8-year-old who was supposed to have already been in bed. Alrighty, well, we are going to say peace. We are on again, I believe it is 2 weeks from tonight, which would put us at May 17th. And Bobby Lynn will be leading that training on how to get your brand new consultants off to a really strong start. So, we'll be going through all that. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight and being here while I jabbered on. Hopefully you learned something. And feel free to post on the Director Bound with what you learned, and I will attempt to get this thing posted because I don't know how I recorded it. I don't know how to do anything else. I just take my laptop to Bobby Lynn. Fix this. Good night, guys.
Night.
Right.